Om Sri Lakshmana and Maha, Valmiki Ramayana, Balakanda, Chapter 18, Birth of Rama, Bharata, Lakshmana and Shatrughna. Summary. After the completion of Vedic ritual, all the kings and sage Rishringa took leave of Dasharatha and went away to their countries. After some time, Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata and Shatrughna are born. Their virtues in childhood and rituals conducted thereto are depicted here. Dasharatha then contemplates the marriage of princes, since marrying sons after completion of education is customary. At the juncture, sage Vishwamitra arrives at the court of Dasharatha seeking help from king. Dasharatha receives him adoring in high esteem. Chapter 18 in detail. On the completion of the horse ritual of high-souled Dasharatha, the gods had sacrificial oblation returned to their abodes as they have come. The king, completing his sacred oaths held for horse ritual, entered Ayodhya city along with the company of his queens, servants, guards, and vehicles. The other kings who arrived for the ritual are delighted when befittingly honored by the king Dasharatha, and they too returned to their countries after suitably adoring the eminent sage Vashishta. The attendants or associates of those kings who set forth homewards from that city are highly gladdened and shown forth in final fettle. On the departure of visiting kings, then the fortunate king Dasharatha entered the city Ayodhya, keeping eminent Brahman priest ahead of him in the procession. Well adored by King Dasharatha, sage Rishringa also travelled along with his wife Shanta, followed by his father-in-law King Rampada, and along with other co-travellers, namely the attendants or associates of Rampada. On dispersing all of them, King Dasharatha gratifyingly dwelled there in Ayodhya with a need or desired heart, dwelling upon the birth of his sons. On completion of the rituals, 6 seasons have passed by, and then in the 12th month, on the 9th day of Chaitra month, that's April or May, when the presiding deities of ruling star of the day is Aditi, when the ruling star of the day is Punarvasu, the asceticism is in the ascendant. And when 5 of the 9 planets, that is Sun, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn and Venus, are at their highest positions, when Jupiter with Moon is ascendant in Cancer, and when the day is advancing, then Queen Kaushalya gave birth to a son with all the divine attributes like lotus red eyes, lengthy arms, roseate, that is resembling a rose, especially in colored lips, voice like drumbeat, and who took birth to the delight of the Ikshvaku dynasty, who is adored by all the worlds, and who is the greatly blessed epitome of Vishnu, namely Lord Rama. Kaushalya shone forth with such a son whose resplendence is unlimited, as with Lady Aditi, who once stood out with her son Indra, the best one among gods. Queen Kaikeyi gave birth to Bharata, one embodied with all merits, and whose truthfulness itself is his valor, and who is fourth component of manifest Vishnu, namely Rama. Queen Sumitra then gave birth to 2 sons who are the embodied epitomes of Vishnu, namely Lakshmana and Shatrughna, who are valiant ones and experts in all kinds of weaponry. The fair-minded Bharata is born under Pisces, when Pushyami is the star of the day, and the sons of Sumitra, namely Lakshmana and Shatrughna, are born under Cancer, where Asresa is the star of the day, and when sun is rising. Thus, there are 4 great souled sons of Dasharatha born on separate instances who are virtuous, charming, and by brilliance they are in likeness with 2 stars of each of the asceticism called Purabhadra and Uttarabhadra. The celestial singers sang melodiously paradisial dancing parties danced, divine drums drummed, and the heavens rained flowers. With all this, there is a great festivity in Ayodhya with crowding people. Hilarity filled the streets with people stampeding them and with flurry of actors, dancers, singers, and instrumentalists, as well as by other onlookers. And there on the streets, widely scattered are all kinds of gems, appreciating the artists. The king gave worthy gifts to eulogists, bard, singers, and panegyrists, and to Brahmins he gave funds and wealth in the form of thousands of cows. Elapsed are 11 days, and the naming ceremony is performed. Then Vashishta, the chief priest, named the high souled elder one as Rama, Kaikeyi's son as Bharata, and one son of Sumitra as Lakshmana, and the other as Shatrughna. The king feasted Brahmins, urbanites, and villagers, and he gifted many valuable gems to Brahmins in an unlimited way. And all the rituals of birth and ceremonies sequel to it, like naming ceremony, first food feeding ceremony, first hair removal ceremony, and the sacred thread ceremony, are performed in respect of the princess. Among those princes, the eldest one, Rama, is like a flagstaff and a delight of his father Dasharatha, and he became acceptable to all beings like the self created Brahma. All the princes are scholars in Vedas, valiant ones. All are interested in the welfare of the world. All are intellectuals, and all of them possess an air of probity. Among them, the great resplendent Rama, whose valor itself is his truthfulness, is the dear one to the entire world, like the tranquil moon. Rama is admittedly a champion of riding elephants and horses, also in tactical charioteering, and he rejoices in the art of archery and absorbed in the obedient service of his father. Right from childhood, Lakshmana, the enhancer of prosperity, is always amiable towards his world charming elder brother Rama. Lakshmana, who is endowed with the wealth of dedication, dedicated himself to Rama with bodily service, and while performing all agreeable deeds in respect of Rama, he behaved like Rama's alter ego, that's counterpart. That best one among the men, Rama, does not get his sleep without Lakshmana, and he would not eat food brought for him, however delicious it may be, without Lakshmana. Whenever Raghava mounts a horse and goes on a hunting game, Lakshmana rushes after him, wielding his bow and a square, that's a shield or a armor. Lakshmana's younger brother Shatrughna is a dear one to Bharata. Like the Bharata too, held Shatrughna dearer than his own lives. King Dasharatha is highly gladdened with four of his highly fortunate sons, like the forefather Brahma with gods in heaven. When all of the four sons are thus prospering with prudence, gifted with all the merits, self consciousness to do wrong deeds, well known for their gentility, knower of pros and cons, and even the upright princes, then their father Dasharatha is contented in respect of all of them who are such radiantly brilliant and potential princes like Brahma. Even those tigerly men, namely the princes, are engrossed in the studies of Vedas, delighted to render service to their father, and they are also the experts in the art of archery. Then the noble souled Dasharatha contemplated along with his priestly teachers and relatives about the matrimonial alliance of his sons. While the great souled Dasharatha is discussing the marriage of princes, among his ministers the highly powerful sage Vishwamitra arrived. Desirous to have an audience with king, Vishwamitra said to the doorkeeper, "Let the king be informed quickly that I, the son of Gadi, from the dynasty of Kushi, have come." On listening these words, all the doorkeepers are dumbfolded and introduced by those words, they quickly rushed to the palace of Dasharatha. Then, on their arriving at the king's palace, the doorkeepers have announced to the king of Ikshvakus, namely Dasharatha, about the arrival of sage Vishwamitra. On hearing that message from the doorkeeper, Dasharatha is highly pleased, and he has gone towards Vishwamitra in a self-possessed manner along with royal priests, as Indra would ceremoniously go towards Brahma. Then, on seeing the resplendent sage Vishwamitra, whose radiance is by his own ascesis and who has severe self-discipline, the king offered water with a gladsome aspect, as first customary hospitality in receiving unexpected guests. On receiving water from the king, scripturally and customarily, Vishwamitra inquired after the well-being and welfare of King Dasharatha. That highly righteous sage Vishwamitra asked the king after the well-being of city, treasury, rural areas, friends and relatives. Sage Vishwamitra asked Dasharatha, "Are all of the provincial kings acceptable to you, and all your enemies conquered? Are you properly performing the devotional and social work?" And on meeting the eminent sage Vashishta, and with them the other exalted sages according to custom, Vishwamitra asked after their well-being. Then, adoringly invited by King Dasharatha, all of them gladly entered the palace and they took their seats according to protocol. Then the very generous King Dasharatha is gladdened at heart at the arrival of Vishwamitra, and he spoke this way, feeling happy to adore that sage. "I deem your arrival is in the vein of mortals attaining ambrosia, rainfall in a droughty land, a barren father begetting a son through his deserving wife, a regain of long lost treasure, and the gladness at a great happening. O great saint, welcome to you. O Brahman, as I am the one who is delighted for your arrival, and as you are the most eligible recipient from me, what is the choicest object of yours to be fulfilled by me? And in which way, O endeavour of respect, for me your arrival is fortunate, whereby my birth is fructified and my life flourished today, and wherefore I could see a great Brahman like you visiting my home. Therefore the sun appears to have dawned in my night. Originally your glory was explicit by your title kingly sage, and subsequently you attained the absolute sainthood by your asceticism, and you are venerable to me in many ways. O Brahman, thereby your arrival at my palace is surprising and ideally scared to me, and by your very appearance I have become one who has gone on quite pilgrimage. You may tell me, entreating which work your arrival chanced here, and I feel that I am indeed blessed and wish to make it happen to achieve results. It is unapt of you to deliberate about the feasibility of the work, O sage, with blessed vows, while I am the fulfiller of it without any reminder, since you are God to me indeed. O Brahman, this is the great prosperity that bechanced on me, and this is property in its entirety that bechanced on me as a result of your arrival. On hearing the words of high-minded Dasharatha, said that way in all his humbleness, and those that are pleasant to ears as well as to heart, he who is renowned for his personal attributes and a reputed one by his exceptional qualities, that sublime sage Vishwamitra obtained high rejoice. Thus, this is the 18th chapter in Balakanda of Valmiki Ramayana, the first epic poem of India. Sri Moola Rama Vijayate. Sri Krishnarpanamastu.